ACB is on. There's so many ACB, PBBs, bro. I really hope I don't run into an EDP. Hey, if this clip goes on TikTok, bro, EDP, leave. How y'all doing? It's your boy JC, and welcome back to more Perfumare. Episode 16. Yeah, we already passed in double digits. I don't even think Evan Light didn't go that far in the double digits, so. And that's just because of the fact that we're doing different routes. Yeah, I would like to say that we're almost done with the game, but we still gotta figure out, obviously, clearly the ending of chapter 7, but we also gotta see what happens in Reed's route and then see if we can get the chapter 7 ending for Laurent. And I'm thinking we'll do the same for Reed. But with these games, I just kind of want to like get all we can get from the game, you know what I mean? I don't want to leave anything hanging. Shout out to Balcony as usual, supporting the business, but she did say that if you get the Patreon version of Perfumare, you get a demo version of their sequel game that PDR Rook is working on right now, which is called Amalgam or something like that. I can't recall necessarily the exact name, but obviously the comments on the screen right now, so you guys could see what she said exactly. But you get a backstory of Nino and the other characters that we didn't get to go into, like Flavio as well. So I'm thinking now, again, this is just off of the fact that if you guys want to, if we finish this game. Now, I'm not gonna say, because we got a bunch of other visual novel games and other games we gotta do, but if you guys want, I could get on their Patreon and actually get the, because obviously I want to support the business, because I know they're trying to make these games and, you know, it don't cost, you know what I mean? No one's paying them to make these games. We could figure out what happens with those routes, with Nino and Flavio's past if we get that game. I will bring it back up once we finish Perfumare, but you'll have to let me know exactly on the last part of the Perfumare series, so then I could add it to the list, and then when we get to that list, we could already get it going, you know? I don't know about y'all, but I'm ready. I'm ready to see what different ending. We can't possibly get a bad ending, because we literally got to chapter 7, like, so we can't. If we get a neutral ending on chapter 7, I'ma bang my head on this table. Reed? Yup, the one, and get to the point, Junior. Seemingly in spite of herself, Jules snickers, startling you both with that reaction. Herself more than you. To be honest, Reed was being scolded never fails to amuse her. Besides, he is too predictable. You can almost see the scowl crooking Reed's lips. At being talked down and ridiculed, it's something of a novelty for him. So still, he knows how to pick his battles, and so he doesn't argue. What's going on? We're here to pick you up, obviously. We've been told not to open the door. Jewel jumps in before you can as much as touch the doorknob. She's right to remind you about this. Reed or the other person think it is. You think it's Reed. Appears to be genuine. That's tough because now shapeshifters just have that ability to trick people. Good judgment for once. Wait, we learned from the best. For once. I did pick up when you called, didn't I? Assume that is in fact Nino and not someone who's been eavesdropping on your conversation. That was just self-preservation. Or do you demand an applause for keeping yourself alive? Rude. If assuring, man, there's nothing rude about Nino. She's bae. Come on, bro. I'm biased. I'm Simp King. I'm White Knight. Let me breathe. At least you know that Nino is a real one. Hey, bro, that's all I saw. Is a real one. Let's just go, okay? Either Reed's interruption is caused by solidarity or it's just plain impatience. He's not wrong. You shouldn't loiter. Come on, ask your question and let's be off. Fine, tell me. What's the reason for your fancy hairstyle back at the academy? By fancy, you naturally mean that hideous, in his opinion, buzz cut he sported hidden under his even uglier beanie. His 3-month-long walk of shame. Are you hating on the Buzz Bros? He's told it was just to try something new. But you were there when he smoked his first cigarette and got himself a mini fireplace for his troubles. The embarrassed groan is all the incentive you need, but the mutter, you promised to never mention this, seals the deal. So you open the door to let him and +1 in, though you barely notice Nino. Where she stands, bathed in the shadows. Her presentation is immaculate as always. Meanwhile, Reed looks though as he's been thrown out of bed and taken as stood. He dressed worn, comfortably clothed. Golly, bro, you just didn't homeboy had a beard or something? Stubble? All right, brother, let's get out of here. Naturally, she doesn't provide you with any information until you're seated in the car, but having a heavy player on your side doesn't make you feel a bit relieved. That is until she revs the engine. Yeah, it drives faster than Reed does. So even he swears out loud when the force pushes him back in the city. Why is this always playing someone calling the phone? So he swears out loud when the force pushes him backwards into the seat, making Jules. Ooh, I do not like that hard R on that, bruh. A muscle in Reed's jaw twitches imperceptibly, but other than that, he offers no clarification just as well because Nino beats him to it. As you might have already figured out, we have some other shifters on the loose. 3 to be exact. 3. Even one would be too much. We caught one of them earlier today, but they refused to tattle on their partners. Good for them, I guess. Reed mutters, glaring at the urban landscape. You better be lucky, Black History Month, ain't it, boy? All these dang urbans. Go ahead, you already said the hard R in urban. Man, PDR Rook, you feel cold for today. It smells quite colorful in here. That's crazy. That's what PDR is saying right now. Do you know more? Not much. Nino's demeanor doesn't change that you can't help but think that she's contemplating whether to share the news with you or not. When she finally does speak, there's no guarantee that she's being wholly truthful. Our arrestee testified that they work for Sylvia, which confirms Laurent's suspicion. But the shifter can prove their words. You don't sound reassured. Why is that? The eagerness to cooperate is suspicious, to say the least. Since they're just mercenaries, why should they care to cover their employer's back? Why would their employer be truthful about their identity? Nino counters, letting out a barely audible huff of laughter. Precisely because you can't trust your hirelings. Is that what they called them? I thought it was underlings. What the? Sylvia would have to either be incredibly stupid, incredibly cocky, or both to show her face to them. At the very least, she should have used her reflection to alter the memories of her, making them remember a different face, a different person. I mean, I said it in the last episode, like, I don't even know if that's how Sylvia actually looks like. Because you would think if she's so big brain, so galaxy brain, she would have realized maybe what if the shapeshifters betray her. But nah. In this world, only the dead keep their secrets. Ooh, that's kind of a bar. Hold up. Wouldn't it be wiser to get rid of the mercenaries first? Then other paste patsies and distant acquaintances later? Maybe she had a reason for her confidence and they just betrayed her? Or she's being framed? That's one ought we figure out. Ooh, that is a good one. Being framed? So maybe Sylvia's not even the big plot? That's some big brain story writing right there. But you say you have something on her? Was that a false lead? No, we have proof of her meddling with the retrieved cargo. The numbers don't lie, and the falsified reports and receipts can't be traced back to her. As for the murder cases, she has a good alibi for each of the incidents, and that's why we can't arrest her. But you're going to arrest her? Nino shrugs. It's either a definite no or yes. Figures. Then what's your plan? Considering that Nino did mention something about the bait earlier, it's not hard to imagine that she's still scheming. You could use some details. You could use some details, considering your personal involvement in her strategy. After luring out the missing shifter first, we'll let the ACB deal with Sylvia. ACB? She really is guilty then. Not only that, the Anti-Corruption Bureau is on. There's so many ACB, PBBs, bro. I really hope I don't run into an EDP. Hey, if this clip goes on TikTok, bro, EDP, leave. Crap is about to go hit the fan. They eat schemers like Sylvia for breakfast. They better eat her. What about dinner and lunch too, bro? You missing out. ACB is about the only department that is respected even amongst the afflicted population. They operate in very hush-hush manner, fading out the existence, then reappearing once every few years to arrest a bunch of politicians, agents, or social elites in one strike, rinse and repeat. And if not for the fish shifter holding up somewhere and waiting for everything, would be your best bet. How do you want to deal with the shifter? You'll see. Again with the half answers. When you peep at Reed, you were hoping he might privy to more information. He only shakes his head. He doesn't seem to be pleased about being kept in the dark either. What about Renee? Shows she's still under the thrall, but she's monitored. Jules furrows. The tang of worry is clear and palpable, so is the resentment. I meant if she's fine. Why wouldn't she be? She's protected by 2 agents, and she has a healer at her disposal. Protected? More like guarded. And Jill snaps, half piqued, half eerie. Nino doesn't dignify that outburst with a response, but Reed does. Classic SPD. Don't I know that? I'd like to remind you that her condition is volatile. If she wasn't detained, she might have already been dead. Nino remarks offhandedly, breaking the moment of bonding over a mutual hatred of the government. She's not apprehended. Unlike someone. What's that supposed to... Can we just move on? Why is Jewel on attack mode, bro? Nino's cool. She's chilling, dog. Chill. You not beating Nino in looks, bro. Stop it. We have other things to do than chat, yeah? The comment is vague enough to combine with the Reed's tone makes you almost sure that something has to be wrong with his brother, as not many subjects get to him to abandon his natural flippancy. On a good day, a mere mention of Flavio makes Reed prickle like a hedgehog. I forgot those were animals. If Flavio's away, as you gathered, then it's not surprised that Nino ended up babysitting Reed. Despite all that Reed has to say about Flavio, he can't even deny his brother would do anything to keep him safe, including pretending that Reed's dead just to keep off his ass. The majority of the SPD is not in the unknown. After purring... The frick happened? Why'd the car stop? Above the purring of the engine, the strike of thunder resounds, and the rain amplified to groaning in ardor. The seasons right before the end of winter tends to be rainy, a weather indeed fitting your mood. Oh my god, that's loud. By the time you arrive at your destination, the bar is vis-a-vis the Perfumare. The howling wind and the storm outside intensifies, chilling you to the bone. The second you step out of the vehicle, the air is filled with the scent of dirt and exhaust fumes. The steely gray clouds cover the sky with a thick, opaque film. Before you can take a step, shoes squelching on the nearly black from the moisture pavement. Nino vanishes in the thin air, reappearing at several paces away, right in front of the entrance, and fully protected from the element. Why, does that not work with the rain, yo element? Show off. Yeah, all you had to do was just get out the car, Nino. It's not that deep. Jewel quips, raising her eyebrow at Reed, then lifts his arms above his head to shield himself from the worst of the downpour. Jealous that someone stole your spotlight? Actually, what's Reed's Perfumare again? Reed Esposito, born blah blah blah. Telepathy. So he could like talk through your mind or whatever? She doesn't wait for him to answer, catching you by the wrist and all, but dashing down the street. You can hear Reed swearing or the echo of his footsteps, but you know he's close by. Fat raindrops drum over your head like hell. Your chattering teeth snap against... Dang, bro, you ran out of the loop of the ambient sounds, bro? Alright, so we enter the bar. Where's the agent? As she trails... Her name is Nino, woman. After she trails Nino, Reed, despite standing near the door, you pass by her. Nino's nowhere to be seen. That doesn't concern you in the slightest because the bar that looks shabby on the outside, you know that Reed's boss doesn't spare any expenses on the security. You're safer here than you would be anywhere. No fancy necessary for your protection, though your presence doesn't hurt either, the attitude aside. Besides, even if Nina was here, she'd brush off all your questions. With Dia out back. Reed explains, frowning as the lock of hair finds its way in his mouth. Alright, come on before you get sick. Bold claim, considering that out of you two, he's the one catching the seasonal flu. Busted ass bar. If anyone's getting sick from a drizzle, it's you. A drizzle my ass. I guess I'll keep the towels for myself then. We even have a shower here. Bro, we've already did that. Don't even worry about that. A shower, isn't that excessive? Yup. While you and Jewel dry yourself off, Reed closes the lockers and ruffles through another, retrieving his personal towel. Which is great and all, you know how it gets after midnight. Overcrowded and stuffy, a lot of drunk patrons, a lot of sticky fluid, and only half is the fruit juice from many cocktails served here. And the odor of alcohol is not even the main issue. I just wish the shower was mandatory for clients too, if you catch my drift. Bro, they're supposed to just drink and get out, dog. Yikes, you didn't need the reminder of how lucky you are to snatch up a job at the Perfumare. Hey man, you gotta do what you gotta do, bro. Like, it's the bag. Anyways, take your pick. Pointing at one of the shelves, Reed beckons you towards the what you realize is a pile of clothes. Spare uniforms to be precise. The dress shirts are clean, still smelling faintly of the antibacterial laundry detergent. Neither of them belongs to Reed. The fabric for one is too simple and not translucent enough for him to squonk about in. Besides, you sooner see the pigs fly than Reed wearing shared clothes. As expected, while you and Jewel dig through the pile in hope of finding something in your approximate sizes, Reed takes out his spare, then after grabbing a compact hairdryer, he leaves the room with the offhand promise coming back soon. Soon. You mock the ruffling through the pile. Your pants is most likely dry. The shirt is a lost cause. Jewel's situation is more and more the same. Is he always like that? Yes he is. Rolling eyes so violently, you're almost concerned about it. Jewel throws her bag on the floor to change into dry clothes. Always knew you had the patience of an oyster. Are y'all that dirty already? Y'all just took a shower. It's not patience, but routine. You have disposing your wet clothes and hanging them over the back of a chair. Reads like fungus. He grows on you. Jesus. What a terrific analogy. Letting out a quiet laugh. Jewel places her towel next to the drying shirts, then settles on the couch with her head rested on the upholstery. I knew you appreciate it. Perching yourself on the seat next to Jewel, you wrap your arms around yourself to restore some to your chilled skin. Seeing and feeling, you shiver. Jewel leans over in the armrest and yanks the duffel bag, which you just now realize is made of waterproof fabric, onto her lap. Speaking of appreciation, you forget her trusty blanket. It's saved from the freezing off several times on your journey to the Institute. Now draped over your shoulders to rescue you once again. You think about everything, don't you? I wish. Jesus, bro, you are such a mom. God. Maybe then I get out some disposable raincoats. Just like Jewel to berate herself, preparing for only 99 problems, but a hoeing one. You should have just said that. Go ahead and say that, PDR. It's fine. These uniforms aren't bad. I guess it could be worse. Such optimism. I'm proud of you. I try. With a last chuckle, the conversation lulls to a halt. Silence, though, is far from awkward. The only prominent smell is that of ethyl. One of your senses out of commission, you have to rely on others. You don't have to struggle all that hard pick up Dia's voice coming from upstairs. The conversation that she carries is just a blur of noise, but the voice is raised, distinct, just as clack, clack, clack of her heels and the creaky wooden panel upstairs. The discussion nearly lasts half an hour. The abrupt shift of temperatures, freezing cold to almost too hot, slowly deepens your drowsiness, having you almost dozing off with your head resting on Joel's shoulder. On her part, Joel stares off to the side with the unseeing gaze, but relaxed expression, whatever she's recollecting. It can't be unpleasant. Just as you consider asking her about it, the dual whistle reaches your ears, a euphonious, as if repetitive melody you heard countless times over the years back at the academy. The performer itself rejoins you. Shortly after breaking the record, Dolly himself. His hair remains natural. His skin smells of strong herbal smoke. Soap, probably organic. Y'all get organic soap? Give me some. And more than likely expensive. Took you long enough. Jewel mutters without looking up at the same time as you say, so fast? Cloudy veneer that the enveloped Reed's features was left to brood alone. Clears the playful taunt. It's a good thing that he's easily distracted. His usual tomfoolery is highly preferred to the gloomness. Some of us didn't want to look like wet rats, thank you very much. Says the guy dressed in a shirt so transparent, he might as well be soaked through. Some of us have other things to care about than appearance. If you're jealous of, throwing my words back. Guys, as much as I miss your banter, we should really concentrate on the shifter situation. Meanwhile, Reed is always insistent having the last word. Bro, I hate when people do that. Just shut up and just move on with your life, bro. It's not that deep. The shifter is. He starts, but for the first time in perhaps ever, he lost for words. It's complicated. Complicated how? What do you know? Because he has to know something. If not many from any context, then from his boss himself. Not much. Thanks to the agent. Only that Flavio's under arrest. No wonder Nino's not exactly what? Verbose. What? The SPD jailed him because of that lost shifter? No, not really. That would be excessive even for these effers. Apparently he's lost his effing mind completely, or somebody blackmailing him because he admitted to killing Victor. But he wasn't even there. At least not until after Donegal was shot. I know that. They know that. He has an alibi that could be undermined, for sure. But at this point, everyone knows he isn't guilty. You're familiar with the effed up law, though. Since he's confessed to the murder, so they had no choice but to retain him until the case is closed. And to solve this, they have to catch the real killer. That's why Nino came to get you. I didn't think she cared. About me? Bro, she just got beef with Nino. About me, she doesn't. About the case? He shrugs, huffing out a jeering sort of laughter. But Flavio's her friend, so... so even the cold-hearted agent has a weakness. Who would have thought? Maybe Nino's and Flavio's backstory in that demo goes deep. And you were helping because sometimes you still forget the majority of people believe in Reed's reputation, thinking the worst of him. He, as per the boss instructions, embraces it, and instead of fighting it, and Jewel, although shrewd and insightful, resolutely stayed out of other people's business, never caring to inquire more information than strictly needed to ensure her own welfare. When you are sure Reed's going to rebuff or ignore the probing, it seems that Jewel's accusing tone gets to him because he shoots her dirty look. I'm not going to step aside and watch him. His voice cracks horribly and the sentence crumbles. Jesus, that's kind of awkward. Sorry, Jewel stutters, tonally deeply apologetic. Bro, what are y'all on right now? Y'all trying to make out or something? Jesus. Let's just finish the chapter. Thus, and this is any other subject that might have come to the next, are dropped in favor of the awkward silence. Broken only a few minutes later when particularly a strident rasp coming from the top of her head to make you all look up. The old flooring creaks and moans of two pairs of feet. Walk down toward the staff room, Nino's combat shoes, and makes more of a ruckus than Dia's stilettos. Who's still wearing stilettos, but still are discernible. Dia walks in, as she's known to do. Letter of her Kararab gloves squeaks as she pushes the door with two of her fingertips into motion. Looks incredibly light and elegant, and yet the results are raucous bang as the metal meets the frame. Nigga senpai, darling. Come be my slave for a day. Dia's verdant eyes slide over you, scrutinizing your damp shoes, wrinkled clothes, and puffiness of your blurry face. For someone who owns a Perfumare shop, you got the bag. I wish I could say you look well, but this is all very touching. Let us skip the reunion. Okay. Oh my. The matte lipstick doesn't even crinkle when Dia pulls her lips in a smile that seems both scathing and genuine. The flash of her pearly whites is less charming and more akin to a wolf ready to charge. You officers are truly something else, aren't you? No manners at all. They don't pay us for manners, ma'am. Yeah, get to it. I'm liking Nino, bro. It's the full package, bro. Clearly. The tension in the room cools as though the laden with electric current that warrants a caution sign. Thankfully, there's no electric shocks. Just a clap of Dia's hands as she turns around sideways. Her white fur floating like a cloud behind her. Reed, darling, don't slouch. Take a seat. We'll be here for a while. Oh my god, we just got here. It's 39 minutes in the recording. It might come as a surprise to you, but the incident with Victor wasn't the last. During the time you've been away, there's been another casualty. Who was it? Dia waves her hand. The meaning is clear. It doesn't matter. The point is, homicides didn't stop when you went underground, which is an important counter evidence. Isn't that so, Agent? Nino nods, either uncaring or unaware of the subtle jeer. With that, the eyes of the SPD and the ACB are diverted from you. But let's be honest, it would be more convenient for everyone involved if you were to die. Jesus. With you dead, the SPD won't have to explain themselves ever wanting to use civilian to close an unsolved case. Without direct witnesses, there would be less fire for the SPD to put out. Your disappearance will be crucial in mitigating the measure to shield themselves from the public eye. It would be the first time the person of interest found dead, either or accident or by suicide. Every time there's talk about rogue mercenaries and such, everyone who dares to put the blame on the government's machinations is called a fearmonger or a conspiracy theorist. So you're telling me my F no matter what, basically. Oh joy. Oh, don't be such a downer, darling. Easy to say with a renowned lawyer as her cousin and a small fortune inherited from her dearly departed husband. Not to mention her own wealth. You sound like you hating, bro. You sounding like you ain't got the bag and you mad she got the bag. I can't even hate at the people who got a credit card, bro. Like from their daddy. Come on. Get the bag and then you can stun on them. Not all are this lucky. The scales can be tipped in our favor. I don't see how we can turn the tables. Are you saying you have a way to sneak us out of the country? That wouldn't ensure your well-being either. Not in the long run. Well, what can we do, fam? Let me dream. There is a way. Dia's lips retain the chuffed curl, like a cat who's got or is about to taste the cream. A foolproof one. You have to make it seem though as all you did was assist the government. You can't hide, on the contrary. You should make your contribution known. Contribution to what? Catching the shifter, naturally. Oh, I think I know where this is going. Joel, calm down. You're not my mom. I already feel like she's about to direct something. So you do, and you're at a loss to what you think it about. The plan is easy, nigga senpai. Since you're the only one we can trust, could be argued that the way that Dia practically swept you off the streets, offered you a job without checking your background with the only admittance about your affliction, was careless of her. However, you're grown to realize that while she's daring. First and foremost, she's calculative. She understands people like you, hopeless, without a choice, and would cling to the first rope that was thrown their way with both hands. Afraid to get back in the water, no fealty, but fear and gratitude, bind tighter than devotion. When Dia says there is no one she can confide in, she's not lying. She's always been selective with whom she shares information about the existence of her second business. Besides you, there is, or was, only a handful of other employees, which is way less than any other successful Perfumare manufacturer has, at least to your knowledge. One of your colleagues, for example, has at least 70 people under him. And taking into account that the dealing with Perfumare is nothing more than a hobby. For him, that says something. Of course, he can't afford to be indiscreet. His late father's influence and status give him the right feel to an untouchable. People like Dia, conversely, are more methodical in their approach. Not out of fear, but out of wisdom, hard-earned experience. You never meet the other runners, of course, which was another precautions of Dia implemented, and thus it far served you well. You will be tasked with your usual duties, excluding your store shifts, as it is irrelevant at this moment. Man, you don't even pay me, bro. Stop. Wait, you want me to just return to work? Yes. It's too risky. Even with the SPD out of the way, there's no chance. There's always a chance you'll have to run in with the same effer who. That's the point, Junior. You called it. Nigga senpai will continue before, and we will wait for the suspect to fall into our hands. Initially, we want to try a different approach to see as if the matters have changed. This is our best option. Yeah, our best option is always to be the sacrificial lamb. That makes sense, yeah. But why nigga senpai? Can't you just use someone else? Because Nino spells it out slowly as she's talking to a child. Oh my god. When our perp hears about nigga senpai's involvement, and they will hear about it, we will make sure of it. They will be twice as likely to come for us before we find them. Do you want your pacifier or your baby bottle? They want to kill nigga senpai. Of course they will. No, that's effing crazy. You can't be serious. You're forgetting about the ACB. One of theirs will be patrolling the warehouse. And they don't bother with civilians if they can't help it. I will also be there. I won't let them hurt you. It's reassuring, you have to admit, but I don't care. She's bae. I'm supposed to be a white tonight, if I'm not incorrect. We'd like a moment to think. You're not picking for me, ho. We don't. You look tense. Maybe a smoke would help, Man, I'm literally a ghost. I breathe the smoke. Let's take a break, darling. Scowling viciously at the pet name. But once Nino doesn't put up a fight, and when Dio walks out, Nino flickers out of existence. Soon they're both gone. Freaking. Reed's explanation is followed by a colorful string of curses. Some of which are too bundled up for you to comprehend. You don't get and share the sentiment though. Well, he cares about you, nigga senpai. What you doing? Well said. You notice how tense Jules' shoulders were when she relaxes them, and at the end of Reed's harangue, you've been so pensive you hardly paid attention to your surroundings. I need a freaking drink. Bro, I bet you had a bunch of White Claws. Now you about to get a tequila shot. Freaking loser. Give me one too. Nothing fizzy, please. Ditto. Before diving out of the room, Reed throws you a look over his shoulder. Caffeinated or alcoholic? Man, just give me a water, brother. What if we left? What? Again? Half chuckle that leaves your lungs die somewhere between your throat and lips. He makes you when you realize that she's serious. Look, my parents have been on the government's radar. How long? We can do the same. You want to come back to the Institute? Where else? They have everything we might need there. With our family in a hideout, there is nothing holding Jewel and a Lazar. Besides, Serene is an ingenious as Jewel, if not more. Where they are, they'll be safe and sound. She'll make sure of it. Is this like an ending, a resolute ending? And you? Besides the sham of Normancy, you tried to build it up for yourself here. But what's stopping you from abandoning it altogether? This time though, if you leave there'll be no coming back. So it's a critical choice. Think about it. No, avoiding this is useless. We tried running away once. For the record, I think we could pull it off. I'm sure you could. You're resourceful. Ooh, don't sell yourself short. Yeah, if you stop touching me. I'm just trying to be realistic. Facts. Always holding my hand and stuff. Alright, Reed is back. Pros of working with for Alon. Free buffet and alcohol. Doesn't seem too bad if you ignore the crowd of stinky patrons and rivers of... I don't want to hear that. Jesus. So what now? We go with the plan. For better or for worse. Nearly 3 weeks later, and it definitely seems to be like for the worse. Not because something happens, because nothing happens at all. It's strange. The Normancy, life goes on as it did before the incident, except you're told by Nino nonstop, filling our eyes from every dark corner. She getting paid for this? It's less scary than it sounds. Once you get used to it, she silently propinquity. Why are you using all of these words? Becomes almost comforting. Without the threat of the SPD butting in, you're allowed to settle into something resembling a schedule. The oddity you've never had a chance to partake in. You, Jewel, and Reed spend most of the mornings at a hotel paid upfront by Dia. Needless to say that you're still not used to the luxury. By night, you find yourself meeting with clients, Jewel right beside you, and so is Nino, hidden from the view. It's your fifth. Run so far, but every workday comes and goes, similarly utterly and uneventful. There's something in the air though, tightness, a feeling you can't shake off. Ooh, hold up. Tonight's meeting is well set at the warehouse. Same where Victor was killed. The building stands. Okay, we got some little snow action going on. The odor decomposition is worn down by the wintriness. Alright, so pretty much I'm gonna skim through these, but pretty much the person that we're meeting up is in a small, expensive looking car. Dark greenish gray shade blends with remaining vegetation. They're going to be pissed. Middleman sent by the client to talk a business with them you mentioned their short temper and that infrequent rich bastards who draft contracts with you. Rarely respect your time, but hate to have their own time wasted. It's not your fault we had to wait for Nino. It's not Nino's fault she was called for emergency at work, but you're not in the habit. Ain't she at work now? They're a deal. After all, they paid up front. Nearing the building, you fall silent. It wouldn't be good for business if they caught you bad-mouthing them. Don't move. Alright, bro. I'm so tired of seeing this broad, bro. Get a different look. Golly, y'all can at least take her to the salon. She wanna be in Bad Boys so badly. Alright, then the Maurice is here. Why are we in this same location? Give us the... Shut it. One tap be snapped by Sylvia's hand. Dude. Ouch. Don't call me dude. And come here. Sylvia drags him in the corner. They hold a hushed discussion. Okay. Okay. Which of you has the key to the garage? It's not how you play Simon Says, you know. You're not my client. I'd have to tell you crap. Oh, really? Shifter doesn't dispute. Maurice's eyes don't widen. How did you bingo? Like I told you to shut the F up, didn't I? The shifter hisses, abandoning all the pretenses in favor, reprimanding their partner. Sorry. Not Sylvia mocks. It's not like that with you, remember. Oh, perfect. Villains monologuing. Only Nina would show up to complete the... Oh, wow. You are just disrespecting Nino. And then she shows up. Shadow moves right behind the crowd of the Blaze. Okay. Drop the weapons now. You hear at least 5 thuds, but you're not especially concentrated on the counting. Once after the first rifle touched the ground, 2 extra people appeared, breath away from the shifters. Everything that happens in a rush, you're only present for the first sec. That scared me, almost scared me. Your legs, there's a shot, your legs are free. Agents flash in and out for you. Another shot. Y'all gotta get some audio mixers. Run out of the door, you barely reach the street. Why do we keep doing this, bruh? We literally get in the same situation. Hey. Shifter still wearing Maurice's body. She pushes you aside, moving past you. Reach the car. Okay. Freak it. You halt. Okay, we're using our lure. Shifter listens, pausing with... I was about to say, like, we barely use our freaking affliction, bro. Okay. Who sent... A+ effort, but we'll take it from here. Who the freak is you? The freak? I don't even know. Release the shifter. Why are y'all here? Now y'all want to pull up and save the day. Nobody moves except for the shifter. They're fast. Alright, so Nino puts them on the ground. What impressive display of prowess for what for? Enhanced for Chief Officer Fortin. Lauren used Perfumare to boost her tier. You can check her pockets. There's 1 more bottle. Damn. Okay, so there's so much going on. They just met 2 extra officers from the SPD. I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. This chapter is long. Golly. I had it like halfway through them. Well, not even halfway through. Like at the ending, I'm sitting here like tired already. I mean, I've been recording 2 hours straight of full of freaking visual novel games. That's like the only downside of visual novel games. You're gonna be talking, dog. But it looks like they found a bottle of Perfumare. I don't know. This is just weird, bro. Cause like I kind of assumed that we were already gonna run into this situation where we meet up in the same warehouse and then we get into the same situation where we're trying to fight the shifter and then they wind up saving the day. Why weren't y'all not there the first time? Like, why do you now have to pull up? Like, we literally had it, bro. So like, what's the point of y'all being there? Hopefully we finish in the next episode. Jesus, this chapter is long. But yeah, y'all have to let me know what you guys think. Definitely curious to see if the other chapter 7s are like the exact same, just, you know, slightly altered, or are they completely different? We'll have to see. But Jesus, hopefully we could at least start Reed's routes next episode. I'm not too sure how long this is gonna be, but either way, y'all stay blessed, keep it special. I'm gonna see when I see you. Peace.